Mindfulness in brief is just a way of paying attention. So we're incredibly adaptable species, and we tend to take a lot of cues from our context and react to things, like automatically respond to things. What mindfulness does is allows us some space to learn to pay attention in a different way, and perhaps to things that we don't necessarily pay attention to on a daily or moment to moment basis. So we're just going to explore that a little bit. To start, you just want to get into a comfortable position. It's so lovely to catch the end of John's thing and hear the metaphor of the seeds. It's beautiful, beautiful place to start us off. So it's important that you're comfortable. And it's also important that you're sitting in what one of my teachers calls a dignified pose. So you've got a long spine that's really going to allow a lot of space for the lungs to expand in whatever way, forward, backward, sideways. But you want to also kind of drop your shoulders. You can almost roll them back and drop them, because you don't want to be like tense in the body. You just want to be alert. So comfortable, but alert. And then if you are comfortable doing so, just allow your eyes to close. If you find that that is not comfortable for you, an equally good option is to allow your eye gaze to be kind of soft and diffuse, and just focus on a spot on the ground in front of you 4 or 5 feet. The whole point in closing the eyes or limiting your gaze to a little spot on the floor is just to limit all the information that comes in from the eyes, so that we can begin to invite our attention more deeply into the experience of our other senses right now. So for example, you might just take a moment and just listen to whatever you hear around you. There may be sounds farther away. There may be sounds close to you, perhaps even within your own body. Some sounds may be more punctuated. Some sounds may be more continuous. And whatever you're hearing is totally fine. There's no need to judge it or push it away or do anything with it. You're just noticing what sound is available right now. And you can keep your awareness open to sound, while also moving some attention down into your feet. Feet are a great place to help us get grounded. So feeling whatever your feet are resting against, perhaps it's the floor, perhaps it's a cushion, whatever it is, just noticing the places where your feet feel more support from whatever they're resting on. And you might even expand your awareness to notice the connection between your feet and the earth. Just kind of grounding into the body, into the earth. Just getting a sense of how gravity supports us almost like a blanket. And similarly, if you choose to move your attention up your legs, you might also find the places where your sit bones make contact with a chair, or the floor, wherever you're seated. Perhaps you can feel into the texture of your clothing or your socks or your shoes. Just noticing where it's particularly evident. You might even feel into the texture of where you're seated. So just kind of keeping some awareness open to that sense of being connected to the ground, some awareness open to your soundscape, whatever sounds move in and out of your awareness. And you might also then begin to move some attention to the breath. Wherever the breath is most noticeable for you, it might be the tip of your nose, it might be your throat, it might be the top of your chest, or the top of your back. It might be the sides where your ribs expand on each inhale. Or it might even be your lower belly. Just feeling a balloon filling on the inhale and flattening on the exhale. And you don't have to do anything right now. You don't have to make anything happen or change the breath in any way. You're just observing, just noticing. Fully experiencing this particular breath. If you like a place to hone your focus in the breath, that can be nice to notice all four parts of the breath, meaning sensing the in breath and then sensing the pause at the top of the inhale. And then noting the out breath. And perhaps finding the pause at the bottom of the out breath. Just observing this precious breath, how it knows when to come in and when to release. And while you certainly can change it, you don't have to do anything. You're just watching it, kind of witnessing this life force moving into the body, expanding there, moving out of the body and releasing. Some people find it useful to place a hand on their chest or their belly, just if it helps you to settle the attention here even more. Fine to do that if you wish. Certainly not necessary, but an option. Sometimes the hand can just help you notice all four parts of the breath. And other times it's more comfortable just resting in your lap somewhere. Whatever works for you is fine. Just allowing the attention to gently rest on the experience of this particular breath. If you find that my voice is helpful in your guidance, feel free to tune into it. And if you're better off without it, just treat it like the sound of the wind. Just choosing what most helps you settle and gather your attention to the experience of this breath. If it's helpful, you can choose to expand your awareness to the experience of your entire body. And just see if there's anywhere that A little release would be nice, dropping of your shoulders or softening your jaw. If that helps you, that's your choice as well. And then if you choose to, on the next in-breath, pause, out breath, pause. You might see if the pause at the bottom of the out breath has a particular stillness that allows you to sink even further into a more engaged and comfortable place. And in this space of stillness, perhaps there's even a place of peace. And if you want, you can just rest deeply in this place. For some, this is also a good place to notice the seeds that John talked about. For others, just resting in this space nourishes the soul plenty. Lots of choices here. Stillness, peacefulness, nourishment. And then you might begin to take a slightly deeper breath and introduce a tiny bit of movement into your fingers and your toes. Expanding your sound awareness again to not only my voice, but whatever you hear around you. Could be far away or could be very close by. And then expanding your visual awareness too. So just letting your eyes open fully. And you may just gently look around your environment, kind of see what's nearby. Perhaps you have a window, see what's happening outside. And then, if your body's asking for any particular kind of stretch, feel free to do that.